Hey folks, welcome back to B-Movie Game. Kind of an awkward cutoff here with this part, cause yeah, we did the bulk of this chapter in the last one. This part here is I'm just getting these last 10 flowers, and then it's just a matter of going into the air currents that take you back to the place you started, and then that's it. So only a couple more minutes of this chapter, and the bulk of this video is going to be job stuff, which I am not planning on making a big part of a lot of the other upcoming videos going forward. I'm showing more of the jobs now, and I'll show whenever there's like a new one, or if, I don't know, something funny happens, but that is not usually the case. Yeah, I will show it then, but as we progress, it's gonna get a lot more repetitive and even less interesting to watch, so I'm gonna not do that going forward. The other thing I'm going to show less of is stuff like this. Saving in the next couple of segments after this one, I'm going to start editing out most of the loading screens wherever it's not like completely awkward to. Just to, make things move a little bit faster. You don't have to spend like 2 minutes out of every video staring at the hints page, So, anyway, yeah, this is about it. Just got those last few flowers. And now we are heading back to the Heavenly Glow over there. I don't know where you're meant to start in this current. I think it's over by the bridge. I think I missed my shot because there's other... I keep wanting to get these honeycombs, and they're all the way back there, and I missed out. And you don't really have enough time to get back over there and not get your ass kicked by the rain. So, yeah, it's a bust, but who cares?
Oh, Barry, you were wonderful. You really inspired me, Barry. Just what?
Vanessa, you're flying! You're really flying! Vanessa! Oh, it was a dream, a horrible, horrible, yet strangely adolescent dream. What a nightmare.
Communities, well then apply as an operator at the magnetic crane at Hunnix. Attention.
So, yeah, that was the dream chapter. Kind of one of the more pointless story chapters in this game. Nothing really happens. You don't really learn how to do anything new. I guess it's just to kind of, just practice your skills of the outside the hive mechanics a little bit more before you go on to a pretty big job hunt here. I don't know what any of the requirements are for when you get to start the next story chapter in terms of how many jobs you do, and honestly, I think it has more to do with which jobs you do than how many, at least in some parts, because there have been times that I've played through this game where I do like every other... I really don't like the delivery jobs, which we're going to do in a second, I think, and I'm not a huge fan of the taxi job either. I don't like the delivery job because as you get on, it gets harder and just tedious. And then I don't like the taxi job because it's just boring. You're just driving from one point to the other, and the driving is not the most exciting part of this game at all. So, But there have been times where I'm putting off one of those, and then I like do everything else, and I still don't get it, and then I do like one or two of one of those, and then it says that the next story chapter is ready. So I don't know if I don't know what the requirements are. Maybe I'll look up a guide, and then I can mention it, and maybe use that to guide me going forward, but I've never really paid much attention to it. Usually don't have to do that much, so I basically just do whatever jobs are available and open and that I feel like doing, and eventually it lets me play the actual game. So anyway, yeah, like I said, this segment is going to be primarily job stuff, just because that's what we got going on, and yeah, I'm really, this is like the most time in one episode that I would really like to ever dedicate to the job stuff, and, like, you know, like the non-story chapter stuff. And yeah, just like the taxi job, when you finish a job, you get to just ride around on your work vehicle, and then as soon as, I'm pretty sure literally as soon as you take your camera off of it, as soon as it leaves your field of vision, it disappears. Also, I did not know literally until this playthrough, well, I guess not this playthrough, but my playthrough on my practice file that I did in preparation for this LP, so like my most recent going through this game before this, it was not until then that I realized what those colored pads on the ground are for, and I didn't realize that it's like the corresponding, you see those, I'm gonna call them hexagons, I'm probably wrong, I think they're hexagons, right? I think I'm right, because it's not an octagon, it doesn't look like a stop sign. That's how I know what an octagon is. Jack Black taught me that on Sesame Street, in that episode that aired many years after I would be watching Sesame Street. This is the crane operator job. It's not interesting. But yeah, they're like, they have the directions where it's like the blue leads to this one and the orange leads to this one, and then you follow it on the ground. I've played through this game at least like half a dozen times, like getting to the end or almost to the end, usually renting it from Blockbuster growing up, and I literally never knew that until now. So that shows how observant I am and how good I am at understanding gaming cues in games of what you're supposed to do. So I'm a big dummy. What else is new?
Operating the crane is easy. Your left analog stick is used to move it left and right. Align yourself to grab the canisters with the X button. We're on a tight schedule and traffic can get intense. Lose too many and you won't get your money. Would you like me to go over that again?
That repeat instructions prompt is the most deceptive thing ever. Because yes is the X button, which is the universal on the PS2, like, accept, like, let me do shit button. You know, like, I'm okay, shut up button, whenever you get some kind of thing. So the default, at least for me, I have to, like, think about it every single time to hit triangle instead of the X button. And, yeah, it's, I don't want to hear the instructions again. I don't even want to hear them once. I'm letting them play here because it's the LP and I like to let all of the dialogue be said, but, usually I would be skipping through it. So here we have another taxi job. Again, I'm really not going to go out of my way to show these very much after this. Again, unless something really cool happens, or it's, you know, like a crazy, hard thing, or whatever. Also, you saw me just there knocking one of those little poles. I guess those are parking meters on the sidewalk there. There's force of habit of me just doing that whenever I'm driving around in this game to get extra points, but you don't get shit for doing that when you're driving around on the clock. No extra dollars. And yeah, this lady is like, can you stay on the road, when I was like a foot away from the sidewalk or whatever. I also love the people, these bees, who will walk in the street. I think it was off screen, like I cut it out because it was when I was just driving around to and from things. But that was a great way to turn around at that roundabout. But there sometimes be bees in the road, and I'll, drive, and they hover to get out of the way, and they'll be like, hey, stay on the road, and it's like, you're in the fucking road. Philly people do that. Will just walk in the road when it's, not only is it not like a red light, like not only do they not have the go-ahead at the crosswalk or whatever, it'll be in the middle of the street, and it will be when it's like, it's not even, because, obviously, I'm a pedestrian often as well, and, I don't only cross the street when there's no one coming, and when the perpendicular road to where I'm walking has a red light. If there's a space in between the cars coming, I'm gonna go. But some people, I literally don't even understand the calculus. Like, they'll like be in the road, and they'll like wait until cars are going to be near them, and they'll be like, oh, I bet I can make it now. And it fucks everything up. So anyway, yeah, fairly easy taxi ride there. Your last fare just fucking disappears. Your last customer. Just you drop him off in the ether. So anyway, this is like mostly bullshit that's on screen right now, so I would be remiss if I did not mention, I failed to mention it in the last video because I honestly like forgot while I was recording it, but the last video of this LP, as some of you I'm sure noticed, was uploaded on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And because of that, not because of me uploading the video on 9/11, of course, but because of it being the 20th anniversary, at least with a lot of the accounts that I follow on social media and stuff, and people I've been talking to, it's 9/11's been on the brain. Also because, the war in Afghanistan recently ended finally. So, that era has been on the, I think, in the cultural mind, So, I don't have any, like, big takes or anything. I'm not gonna share any cool 9/11 conspiracy theories. But it was funny that, like, most of my Twitter timeline that day was just, like, good-natured joking, and, like, not even jokes about 9/11 per se, but jokes about the commemoration of it, about the social ritual of recognizing the day. There were a lot, if that makes any sense, there were a lot of jokes from people I follow and people that I follow, that were, I don't know how to explain it. I don't have any examples offhand. I might have if I recorded that on the day, but, one other thing that I saw in recent weeks that I don't usually feel old. I don't allow myself to feel old because I'm not at all. In fact, much more often in my life am I reminded of the fact that I am a fucking baby. But if for no other reason that I don't remember 9/11. I have no memory of it at all. I was 4 years old. From what I know, nobody told me what was going on. Not sure why they would. And yeah, none of my business. So I didn't know about it. I didn't even learn what it was until several years after. But still, one thing that almost made me feel old was the people on TikTok explaining to young teenagers, people younger than me, explaining what 9/11 was because they don't know what it is. And I guess I don't get to think that's funny or, like, be weird about it because, like I said, I didn't remember it either. But just hearing the official story of 9/11 be, like, reproduced in the TikTok cadence, I call it. I don't know how much my viewer base. Oh yeah, here I am parking in the mechanic's office. I was hoping that the car would like show up in the game and like clip into the other cars, but no such luck there. Yeah, the TikTok cadence. You know, that tone of voice when people on TikTok are explaining something. I don't know how much my viewer base is looking at TikTok. I don't have the app on my phone. I don't need another app to look through mindlessly, but Liv has it, and TikToks get posted on other stuff all the time, so I am very much aware of many of them. Anyway, that was kind of funny. It was also funny how a lot of people in the media, like George Bush himself, Mr. 9/11 himself, was given that speech where they were talking about, reminiscing about the unity that we had in this country after 9/11. And it's so funny to think about because even then, I mean, I don't remember 9/11 the event, but I certainly remember the culture that it created. And the thing was, I had no frame of reference as a young child for the time before then, culturally, so I just, you know, went into this world, came into this country as a youngster, thinking that this is just what life was like, just people in a manic state of fear and bloodthirstiness. Because that's really what it was with the unity. We were united. I mean, for one thing, the unity thing is kind of bullshit because obviously, you know, that extends the whole thing. That 9/11 paranoia obviously was parlayed into the blind, like, support the troops mentality when the Afghanistan war and especially the Iraq war started. And that's where you got stuff like the fucking Dixie Chicks controversy and the radio putting a bunch of mostly benign songs on like a no playlist, and the poster for the movie What a Girl Wants that was edited to take out the peace sign that she was throwing up because it would be too, I don't know, subversive against the war effort or whatever. The, like, just, like, propaganda that would be on Disney Channel where, you know, all your favorite characters from Even Stevens are talking about how much they support the war in Iraq and the troops or whatever. That's what's funny is that, you know, while there was obviously, like, opposition to the wars themselves, quite vocal opposition from a lot of people, we were united to a degree, especially our political leaders and the media and everything were very united, but they were united in just lust for bloodshed. Just like, you know, it was really not even that long ago, until like the early 2010s, it was completely fine to be a person in public life who had the opinion that, like, we should kill, like, 50% of all the Muslims in the world to make up for 9/11. Like, that was a reasonable opinion to have. Maybe not 50%, but you know what I mean. Like, just wanting to turn the entire Middle East into glass was really not a disrespected opinion or a discouraged opinion at all. And then you also had the insane liberal blue check people on Twitter who were talking about, like, comparing 9/11 to, or even calling 9/11 less bad than the Capitol riot, which is hilarious to me. Yeah, just, you know, Sorry, this has nothing to do with B movie. Although I don't know, B movie 9/11, they're both big memes. They're both very very serious topics that were made into jokes by the internet. But that's been on my mind lately because it was all over the place the last couple days, at least for me. I mean, everybody's fucking algorithm-based internet being is different. But, you know, it was something I was going to talk about it in the last one because I uploaded it on 9/11, but it was whatever. And I knew that this video was going to be mostly like boring shit that doesn't really have anything to do with anything, so I figured if I was going to ramble about dumb shit for any video, this would be the one. And now we have this very boring, I guess you would call this a boss fight, which, is, yeah, these QuickTime events. The parts where anything is actually going on are just QuickTime events, and then other than that, it's just strafing, avoiding his stab attacks that are not even a little bit of a challenge to avoid, and then doing, you know, like, pissing him off when he gets tired. And this is basically what boss fights are in this game, is just a person, and you fly around. And then you annoy them until you can make a quick time event happen so you can actually do something. And your, you know, range of movement is very limited here, so I'm doing my move here. It's basically like a box strafe. I basically just move around in a vague rectangle shape and never seem to get hit that way. Imagine getting tired fighting a bee. Like, why don't you just give up at that point? Just walk away. You're huge. Just go somewhere else.
Nice try.
Also, I love how they took this literal, like, 5-second gag in the movie of him sword fighting with a thumbtack with his stinger and turned it into this fucking 10-minute ordeal.
I could beat you with my rapier whip.
Not much to say about this. I mean, I guess I could ramble about 9/11 for another 3 minutes, but I don't really feel like it. I'm not gonna do any 9/11 hot takes in this one. We don't need to do that. I gotta keep up the good vibes with B-movie game. This is a good vibes LP, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a bummer. I'm not trying to talk about current events or anything, like 9/11, that thing that's going on right now.
Watch it, you can poke out an eye with that thing.
It's cool that they actually made this character model. You'll see later on, the guy who's the friend in Ken's house in the last episode when we were in the house, the one who Ken keeps making a reference to being a jeweler.
Nice try.
You'll see that character, his model is used for like 5 characters in this game. It's pretty funny. So it's cool that they actually managed to make a whole character model actually based on this minor character, who's again in the movie for 10 seconds for this whole thing. But there you have it.
Where does the honey come from? Where? Honey Farms. It comes from Honey Farms. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this and the top of this, all of it.